who is heading the sustainability practice, Manoj Kadar. We have Pratap, who takes care of the manufacturing. We have Alauddin, who takes care of the tech ops. We have Sabin and Naufal, who takes care of the hospitality vertical. So all of them are available here. Make use of your time. Consult with them beyond this event as well. Make sure that you get to know all your queries. You get to answer all your queries before you leave this place. There's a consultation zone where you can walk in, you can understand how can you be a member, and make sure that you join this community as soon as possible. Let's together make an impact. And now we are very excited to launch something which is even more interesting. So as I said, this community is built for us. If it cannot help all of us together in terms of succeeding each other, then how can we survive? So I'm very proud to announce the launch of a program called LEAP, and it is nothing other than Leadership Excellence and Advancement Program. So let me tell you a little bit about this. So we were thinking, we were debating, we were discussing in terms of what can we do differently. So there have been a lot of communities. There's been so much of trial and errors that has happened in terms of building communities like this. People were trying to do things through WhatsApp, through chats, and other platforms. But things were not happening. Things were not happening in the way which we want. So we were always thinking, how can we make a difference? And that's where this whole idea came out. So CAS, as we speak, we all know that it helps organizations, it helps end customers, it helps all of us. If an organization needs a project CIO, an interim CIO, or CIO as a service, everything is available. But at the same time, what can we do above and beyond? That's what this program is all about. This helps each one of us to transform ourselves. This helps organizations to get better leaders. So what we do, we wanted to make sure that we work with organizations in terms as partners for their talent transformation. We are launching something which is even more exciting, that we get into an engaged executive search by which we help you in terms of transitions. So as we all know, CIOs or technology leaders, we have been moving from organizations. And this is one of the areas where we definitely need some help at some point in time. CAS is going to really help you in terms in getting there. And we'll be working very closely with organizations across the globe. So basically, the members who are a part of this community who will get the benefit of LEAP, their profile, their career advancement will also be taken care of. How we do that, watch out the space. There's a lot more to come. I'm not going to run through all this stuff. This is just the launch stage, but there is a lot of excitement that's going to come. So we will definitely get into all these spaces, what we have mentioned over here, which is the business advisory, which is the market research and people insights. So I'm going to talk about the research part. So the same way we do the market research and intel for any of the organizations or the vendor or the partner ecosystem, we'll be able to do this same thing for people and market research. We do the national workforce integration. This is something which is very critical for the markets which is based in Middle East. We do the CIO, CTO, CTO, and CISO services. And we also do the executive leadership coaching. So you have seen certain things happening. Yesterday you saw there was a workshop. Today you'll be seeing another workshop. So all of these things are going to get integrated into this one-stop revolutionary platform. So as I said, don't hesitate. It's your time. There is a consultation zone outside. Make sure that you're part of it. Join, let's make an impact. Now, let me talk about RAS. So I currently work as the Chief Research Officer for CAS, and what we do and what we have done. Let me just take you through that. So research as a service, I've been talking about this at least in the last couple of events. You might have heard about me talking about research. And we directly work with end users and partners and vendors on the other side. What we do, we help them to get the market intel. So basically we work with partners to find what their end customers really need out of any product or service. So basically we all know that, we have been trying to evaluate a product, we have been trying to get that kind of intel. We access white papers, we access reports, and we do quite a lot of things to understand, and do a proper evaluation before we finalize any solution or any product into our organization. Because that's the job as technology leaders which we have to do. So we help product vendors to get that market right. We work with major principals to analyze the market sentiment, the go-to-market strategy, and also the product and service feedback. We also work with distributors to gauge the market penetration. And how we work, what are the building blocks? I've spoken about it earlier again. We work very closely, with the partner or the vendor ecosystem. They're so customer obsessed. And we do this data collection with an experimental and simulated data collection method. We have a well-architected framework. We offer support end-to-end for all the partners in the vendor ecosystem. And how we do this? Because it's just us. This is the community. The power of this community is much more than anything. Because if we don't know, like any platform or a product, how it performs, then nobody can say that. So we are the best judge to ourselves. We know very well which product, which platform works very well, and what is tailor-made or what can be tailor-made, what kind of enhancement we can bring in. So with this context, let me take you through one of the projects what we have delivered. We are so proud about the achievement what we have done in this research space of AMCAS. We did a project, one of the client, which was a cybersecurity distributor, which is based out of Middle East. They approached us and they said they wanted to know about the API security adoption in Middle East. And we actually took that as a challenge. We actually, drove that whole research, and we went through a whole lot of research methodological process. We drive that research. Many of you might have contributed to that research. And let me just show you how that has come out. So we were quite excited in terms of that research, how it has panned out. We had a lot of learnings. The whole research went through a 3 to 4 months of rigorous data collection and data analysis process. And finally we are here. That's the white paper. That's the name, from vulnerability to vigilance. And that's the white paper which will soon be available for consumption for all of us, who are members of CAS. So let me just give you a glimpse of, I cannot run through the white paper right now here. It will be soon available in our portal for all the members. Let me just take you in, show you a little bit of glimpse in terms of how detailed it is. So you can see that it's a 20+ page report. It's very detailed in terms of, it has got the demography, it has got the awareness, it's got the security best practices, it's got the usage and understanding, it's got the API security adoption industries, and the future trends in practice. And you can see it's a very detailed report. As I said, once it's available, I would definitely encourage you to go through this and make sure that you are able to kind of contribute towards your organization and make conscious decisions. And these are again the snapshot of those reports. So you can see 27% of the respondents indicate that with high level of API adoption, and 63% of the organizations are actively using APIs. So that means this was such an important and critical assignment which we took. We wanted to give that confidence to the community that we are embarking on such journey, and this will be for the benefit of everyone who is a part of this community. And now I would like to welcome Mohammed Rehan, who is the business unit head for cybersecurity distribution organization, which is FIRE. He wanted to talk about the experience what he had, with us, working with us in terms of this research. Rehan, can you please join us on stage?
Hello everyone, hope you can all hear me very well. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about the most emerging threat, which is API security. Before that, just a quick introduction. My name is Mohammed Rehan. I am representing Aspire Solution. Aspire Solution is the regional leader in cybersecurity solutions and also a value-add distributor for Middle East sector. I would, before I go in detail and talk about the API security, I would really like to thank RAS team members and CAS as well for arranging a very detailed survey for us and crafting a beautiful report which has everything. Once the report is available to you, you will see the depth of the report starting from the current trends, the future trends, what are the challenges, and what is the adoption of API security solutions currently in the market. When it comes to API, which Aspire Solutions, or we believe that one of the emerging threat which needs a lot of your dedicated time to tackle. Why we believe that is because I was even surprised myself seeing the number. Around 83% of the current internet traffic is driven by APIs, and this number you will be seeing growing in coming years as well. We all live in a world of APIs. Every one of us are using different applications. Those applications are working on different API connects, API calls happening, where no one, or you can say that, focus is not where it should be. We believe the API security, and if you refer to the report once it's available to you, it needs a lot of future investments, a lot of detailed analysis from each one of you. Reason being is current focus in the market right now when dealing with API challenges or API security related challenges are related to authentication, authorization, misconfiguration, but that's not the case. Report also says that most of us are investing a lot in assessments, running different tests, pen test on different API calls, but they are all reactive approach. Whereas the APIs should be taken as a very proactive approach. Why I'm saying that is because if you see right now, APIs are the one exposing all the sensitive data for any organization. Hackers are more sophisticated now to tap and utilize APIs because they land them to the crown jewels of any organization. If you have noticed with recent attacks, be it be the largest crypto trading platform, be it be the largest cloud vendor, in fact all the 4 largest cloud vendors have recently seen or been breached. Their APIs were compromised and the reports are widely available on internet for your review. Also, the largest telecoms across globes are facing this challenge right now when it comes to dealing with different API security challenges. We at Aspire Solutions, who is a leader should be enhancing our capabilities, bringing more awareness to the market, and where we can help you as well, bringing the right approach or a workflow to deal with API challenges. You can reach out to us. I'm pretty much here for the entire day today if you want to discuss more about this and if you want to know what we from Aspire Solution can bring you, not only for API security, for other emerging challenges currently in the market. Aspire Solution is there in the Middle East from last 15 years. You can just reach us from any platform through email, through social media channel, or by talking to us as well. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Rehan. Thank you. So you heard it straight from the client itself. So that's the kind of excitement what we are talking about. You know, there's a lot which we can do on such critical topics, such critical subjects. And again, the subject matter expertise when I'm talking about is just you and me, you know, this community. So be a part of it. Let's together make an impact. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your rest of the conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay. Cass and Ras. I like it. And API security. Wow. I didn't know there were such a, attack vector. So, a note from one of our sponsors, TrueSpec. TrueSpec has a stand in the expo, and for those of you that are interested, they're offering a 2-minute questionnaire. You spend 2 minutes of your time, your name will be put into a draw, and 3 lucky winners will get, guess what? An Apple AirPod 3rd generation. Not AirPod. AirPods are dead, right? Buds, 3rd generation. So Apple Buds, available at the TrueSpec stand outside. Our next presentation is one that I'm most looking forward to. It's about longevity. And Pierre-Edouard Sotas is going to discuss how the longevity blueprint, achieving peak performance across lifespan. So after obtaining his PhD at the intersection of computer science and life science in 2002, Pierre shifted his focus from AI tools to the essence of generating quality biological data. This strategic shift birthed the Biological Passport, which achieved great success across numerous sectors. Then, for the past 15 years, he's established a suite of successful biotech companies, each committed to elevating the quality and health of human life. Now, with X Longevity, he is driven by a desire to make long, healthy, and enjoyable lives accessible to all. Pierre, are you ready? So please welcome Pierre-Edouard Sotas to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, and it's my pleasure actually to discuss with you today about longevity, a concept that is pretty new, and I really liked actually one of the previous talk, which is about actually to reinvent yourself. And by the way, this is something I did myself, and I will give some examples of that. And maybe this will also inspire you actually today about to kind of reinvent your health. So longevity briefing, actually peak performance across lifespan. Okay, that's me. 1 week ago, and I'm 51 years old. I was at the top of the mountain. I took my bike. I can tell you when it's more than 5,000 meters high, actually to breathe, it's something pretty challenging. I've never believed that's something I can achieve. But I think that today, we are living a bit of revolution, the way we can handle health, the way we can empower people, actually, to give health and to minimize the risk of diseases, and also to be at the peak performance, not only physically, like here, but also mentally. So this is one main goal of my talk today. So what really is longevity? Longevity is not about increasing lifespan. It's not giving more years. It's really about increasing health span. This is the wonderful English word that actually the time actually we spend, we are in good health. We are free of chronic diseases, not only, but also we perform at our best, like we were young. So that's actually this idea of longevity. But first, before I enter more, but I'm a scientist, but more enter on the scientific aspects of longevity, of it that is really booming these years. I would just want actually to let you know about where this stands right now on the business aspects, because you probably heard about this paradigm shift that happened these last 20 years about in the field of healthcare, from treatment to personalized medicine to find the right drug for the right patient. But there is one actually that's less known, even though everyone is talking about, okay, it's better to prevent than to cure, but this is clearly happening now. It's what's not happening during the last 30, 40 years. It's really happening during this decade. That's what is pretty interesting. This field actually here is represented from left to right about prevention. At the end, it's a field of personalized wellness. And the numbers of are pretty crazy, because currently healthcare is the second largest global market behind energy, about 30 trillions, but it's growing extremely fast. Digital health is one thing, but also the aging population. And it will be the main market by 2028, valued at 19 trillions. So we are talking about an increase of 6 trillions here in just 5 years. It's the largest increase that exists currently. So it's a combination of yes, digital health, empower people, patient-centric medicine, all these kind of things, 4P medicine. But look now what is one of the main drivers, if not the largest driver of chronic diseases, which is age. Look at these numbers. Hypertension, diabetes, heart disease, cancer, all increase big time with age. We are close free to disease before 40. As soon as we reach 40, they increase a lot. And there's some good actually now understanding of the science behind, the biological mechanism behind what is happening. But as soon as we understand, we can fight against this and can prevent these diseases. And that's what actually I will present today. Now let's talk more about you, corporate leaders. But the bad news for you is that there are still more actually risk for corporate leaders than for the general population. You have numbers all here. It's a list of studies that I compiled and give numbers about cardiovascular risk, mental health, metabolic syndrome, sleep disruption, increased risk behaviors. And every time here we see, because of stress, because of just sitting, here we're just sitting was the main factor of disease. Is pretty bad. More than 4 hours of sitting is as bad as smoking with regard to the risk of death, thing like this. And but the good news is that we can really actually take simple steps. I will give you tips based on the latest research right now. That's how we can minimize these risks. So, but first, let's actually start with a quick poll. Please take your phone, all, join at menti.com, enter this code, and there will be a poll. There are 8 questions, I think, about you, about your health, what you see about your health, of what you do. Some are a bit more technical, and based on the results also, I will show you show you and give tips on that. So, I have to come back. The code 82222218. Menti.com, yes please. Is everyone okay? It's starting. Okay. Would you say your current stress level? Oh, please can you come back? This is going too fast with Menti. Okay. Look at this distribution of the stress level. Oh, yes, you are corporate leaders. You are stressed. I will tell you actually later that stress is not a bad thing. It's chronic stress that is a bad thing. We need stress. Stress is a good thing for your body. You have to stress the body. Exercise is the main stressor that we may have here. So this is about the representative that exists in corporate co-op leaders. So thank you for your honesty, because I think it's pretty, that's it. An average of 3.4, but still actually some people will strongly agree that the stress level is pretty high. Okay, I will go to the next one, which is how satisfied are you with your current work-life balance? Okay, mixed results here, about 30% satisfied, 29% neutral, and 20% undecided, mixed results, which is good. It's good to hear, because when people travel a lot, don't see their loved ones, the number of satisfied people can be actually higher than that. I think many have actually a good balance. Do you believe that a health issue, whether physical or mental, can impact your performance? Strongly agree. Yes, that's the case. Okay. That's, I think we can all agree on that. And I will give some example afterwards how we can actually minimize this. Yeah. Here, do you often feel isolated or lonely in your leadership role? Sometimes, often. Wow. Total is 60. If you do the sum of often and sometimes, we should be around 50 and 60%. That's the average that exists in other similar population. And here, 60, 70. Oh, yes, a little bit more than this. So yes, clearly there's a problem with loneliness. And for sure, it's something that impacts. And we'll let you know in particular what is the biological pathway that may impact your health in that regard. Okay, next one. Are you aware of and do you utilize the health and well-being resources provided by your organization? Actually, does your organization have a corporate wellness program or not? And do you use it? Sometimes utilize, rarely never utilize, always utilize, no representatives are provided. Good news. Okay, I think you work in a great organization, because 87% actually do utilize something that is provided by organization, which is a lot, which is way more than the average, because corporate wellness is not something that is that common right now. It is increasing a lot. It's not that common. Okay, next one. Knowledge now, more. Okay. How much daily resistance training has been proven to lead to beneficial health effects when done consistently? Consistently. There are two keywords here. Resistance. It's resistance training. It's a really specific type of training. It's really about when you go to the gym, you lift weights, actually you deplete your muscle of glycogen. That's something pretty important. And second, we have to do that consistently. The answer is 5 minutes only. And that's great. And I will give you actually examples. But there are two conditions for that. That means that as part of your stressful life, it's something that can be pretty easy to implement. And I'll give you some tricks on that. Knowledge. Spot the odd one. Okay, odd one out. There are, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 options. Oh, we have 16 people who actually found the right one, which is glucose. Glucose is the only one here that is not essential. People don't know that. Now, I travel in India during the last 2 weeks, and I can tell you carbohydrates was close to everywhere. So it was very difficult to get a balanced diet there. And we have to understand that glucose is something that is not essential. All the others are talking about vitamins, about minerals, about fatty acids are essential here. Okay. Do you take any of these longevity supplements regularly? Hey, that's what I expected. Okay. So it's good news. Actually, I have a lot to say about all of those, how actually at the end it may have an impact on your life. Because I personally believe, I'm sure you heard about vitamin D, omega-3, these kind of things, but you don't really learn much about those. 2 people are taking NAD or NAD precursors, good, but most of you actually, you don't take. Okay, thank you for this poll. What is longevity again? Art and science, extend the period of human life. But it's not the years that we want. It's really about be happy, actually, well-being, marrying the vigor and vitality of health. The revolution is here. I always say that the 2020 is not the decade of AI, is not the decade of IT, sorry for that, but it's really the decade of longevity. There's a true revolution that is happening here, because we now understand why, how and why human beings, but in more general, mammals, are aging, and as soon as we have this understanding from a biological point of view, we are ready to act upon it. Okay, and from science marks that have been identified that's really involved in this process of aging, we talk about mitochondrial function, cellular senescence, or about stem cell exhaustion, and all these kind of things. The important one at the end, which is in green there, epigenetic alterations, and it's been identified. And this has been identified. There are a lot of resources now actually that try to target one of those or multiple of this pathway to minimize the risk of diseases here. Now let's discuss about okay this balance that's required, because the 5 pillars of healthy lifestyle, for sure you all know that okay, healthy, do some exercise, eat some healthy food, have a good sleep, good stress management, emotional well-being, but how to implement those in the daily life may be the most challenging fact, especially here for there's so much leadership pressure, but pressure to perform, time pressure and so on, work balance, and that's actually at the end what is critical to the right balance for you to have a sustainable success. So all my next slides here will be to give tips, and I will say some words about the science behind here for you to empower you to take simple action in your daily life that you can implement to minimize your risk of disease. First, okay, I come back to this famous 5 minutes of exercise. That's resistance training. Resistance training, I don't recommend that's out of the 5 zone of intensity. This is one that is mainly high intensity, but a key thing here is, it's this idea of muscle failure. As soon as you actually deplete the glycogen that's in body, that is your muscle, you can really improve the sensitivity to insulin. And insulin resistance has been one of the main drivers of chronic diseases. And this means that just 5 minutes of 2 exercise, I mean even 2.5 minutes, 2 minutes and 30 seconds of one, like the squats and the pull-ups. Squats is really actually for the muscles actually in the legs. For the pull-ups, if you cannot do any pull-ups, just count on the bar. It's plenty enough. Do that 5 minutes a day. It will deplete the glycogen. Up to 80% of your muscle mass actually will be activated with just these two exercises in just 5 minutes. That's a good start. Second, walking. Walking is completely different here. It's not actually high intensity, it's low intensity, but there are some tricks. Personally, I do post-COVID a lot of cold, and I have some headphones. I go to the nature and I walk. That's when I can combine my work with walking. And the idea behind of walking is that this idea of fat oxidation that is so important actually for mitochondria, which is our power cell, our power plant in our cells, to generate the energy and to function properly. That we can aim for at least 10,000 steps daily using that kind of technique. The last tip I will let you know about regular exercise is about the sitting muscle. Again, sitting is a huge problem nowadays. Okay, we're in front of our computers, we sit, and we can sit up to 8-10 hours a day, and this is one of the main driver of diseases, cardiovascular diseases, in particular hypertension, these kind of things. But it's really recent science here. It's only happened these last 2 years. There was one muscle here in the calf that's called the soleus. This is really particular because this muscle is made in a way that it does directly burn glucose. It does not actually burn glycogen. Meaning just activating, actually when seated, these muscles does burn glucose. And this means it's been shown that just actually activating the muscle during half an hour can burn as much glucose that you have in your whole blood. Simply because, of course, there's only a very limited amount of blood in our limit of glucose, of sugar in our blood, only 6 grams, just a teaspoon. People don't understand that, just a teaspoon. When you put actually 2 sugars in your coffee, you're close to double the level of sugar that you have in your blood. That's only a teaspoon. But this exercise is extremely efficient to consume glucose. And at the end, the impact, you heard about cholesterol, probably about glycerides, it does decrease blood sugar. So recent science that show this thing. Next about nutrition. Okay, reach empty calories, minimize insulin. Talking about micronutrients, talk about glucose, that is not an essential macronutrient here, but vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, that all that orchestrates actually all the process that we have in our body. Everyone is talking about should I eat more lipids, should I eat fat, should I eat more glucose or carbohydrates or proteins, but usually they forgot actually these small molecules. On top of that, really minimizing insulin is something that is great. Weight gain needs both the fuel of calories and, that's important, the catalyst of insulin, mainly by carbs. So for weight management, you have two options. So I always say people that, okay, I have to limit my calories. No, we can also limit your insulin. That's another option actually to decrease weight. I personally eat 3,000 calories a day. I'm fit because I play on the other one. Okay, you have the opportunity to do that. And meaning actually if you like to decrease insulin, again, carbohydrates is the one that is the easiest to do. Next one, non-essential but yet exceptional for healthy aging. Okay, curcumin, tea, coffee, berries, dark chocolate, spices, all actually have known there are so many new scientific articles that use studies that show the benefits of these small compounds. Try to implement that in your daily life here. Next one, which is about maybe not you, but your children. I wanted to actually to say something about omega-3. Everyone knows about omega-3, about EPA, DHA, pretty well known. And by the way, there's huge prevalence of deficiency of omega-3 in the population. In my previous company, we were doing nutrition tests, and for example, in Europe, the prevalence deficiency was up to 80%, which is pretty huge. But what I wanted to say here is that I felt completely crazy that actually for kids, there is a direct relation between the amount of omega-3 that is given to the kids and the IQ of the kids over a certain period. So don't forget actually to have omega-3. It's excellent for the brain. The brain is made of lipids. It's made of these kind of things here. Okay, next, sleep. Okay, people have a wake time alarm. Why that? Why not a bedtime alarm? Actually, let your body know when you have to go to bed. We actually, because of time pressure, because we have to go to work, we have to wake time alarm. But have this balance. Set up a bedtime alarm as well, because our body, with the circadian rhythm, the hormones, things like this, is so important that we have a stability only of about 1 hour. I personally go to bed around 10 p.m. I have my bedtime alarm. I can go at 9, I can go at 11, but I just try to actually not actually to miss one of those. For sure, it's more difficult when you travel because of time differences, but it's another recommendation I have. Okay, you sure you heard about blue light, also something that we have to decrease, a night mode, something I strongly recommend. Second, morning sun rays. Actually, go in the morning, watch the sun. We have some receptors behind our retina, actually, that activate also the circadian rhythm. Just watching the sun with your eyes every 5 minutes in the morning activates your circadian rhythm. It is great. Next one, sleep in cool settings. Okay, I will love comfortable life, but people don't know that before we sleep, our body automatically decrease its temperature by up to 1 degree, not 37 degrees, but we go to 36 degrees. And this is good. This is good because it is preparing to sleep. So don't actually have a temperature of your room here that's more than 50, 90 degrees if you can. Next one about stress management. I think for the sake of time, I will go extremely rapidly of those because I'm really more focused, especially that the last question of the poll. You don't know much about these new supplements that are coming now. That, in my opinion, will be extremely popular during this decade. And by the way, also during this conference, there are a lot of reverse aging during this decade. What is actually a good? What are the requirements for a longevity of health program? There are 3 pillars. The action we take, that mean the interventions, the feedback we gather, we can test, we can monitor, we can test our body, and the guidance we say, because this field is pretty technical here. So here are the latest pro-health intervention. NAD. NAD is a molecule that we have in our cells, pretty abundant. That's the one that is responsible one of the main molecule responsible for the production of energy. And the level of NAD decrease big time with age in our cell, mainly between 20 and 30 years old. This means that already at 30 years old, we don't perform at our best. And this decreases over time and here. And this decline, what is important is exacerbate the oxidative stress that we have on our cells. Because our cells do not work perfectly. They work at 99%, and there are some reactivation oxygen species that are generated, and these actually exacerbates the what we call senescence of the cell, how the cells become zombie cells in here. And during these last 5 years, now these actually kind of things, how we can improve we improve our NAD levels, typically with what we call NAD precursors. We take orally, we can take injection, it's so easy to take orally, or even better sublingually, because the oral absorption of these molecules are not that great, around 10-20%, so better actually take sublingually for the absorption. We can actually get the NAD levels in our cell back when we were young. But what I would like to insist on these slides is really about the all clinical trials that have been performed and the impact it has been had, actually. In healthy people or in people with diseases, we are talking about a molecule. It's not like, it's not like, for example, a drug like metformin that is used for diabetes or statin that is used to decrease cholesterol. That's just really specific to one thing. These actually clinical trials have been shown in humans with NMN, NR, or NAD, that's the precursor of NAD, that showed improvements, energy levels, mitochondrial function, physical function, cognitive function, sleep quality, mood, visual function, cardiovascular function, reduced inflammation and stress level, and the general reduction of age-related disease. It's just impressive that our single molecule that have that impact. It's now from a biological point of view, it makes so much sense because NAD is the molecule, and I think that's the only one that's associated to 7 out of the 9 hallmarks. There are some natural compounds that you can find in apples, that you can find in